This story is about 10 rather close relations of ours who seem to get into almost exactly the same kind of trouble we do. All 10 of these jolly characters lived in the same neighborhood and were all good friends, generally speaking. Each of them had a bicycle, and each took care of his bicycle in exactly the way he took care of himself. One day they held a group think and decided to have a picnic in a little park just 9 blocks away. Now that doesn't sound far, but a lot can happen in 9 blocks, right? Well, sound off out there. I said right? Right. So, they all ran home and made themselves sandwiches. I know that doesn't sound too likely, but of course, human. Then they hurried back, all ready to go. Now, one of the 10 was a rather hungry type. His name was Slim Jim McGupney, and his picnic lunch was what you might call a portable banquet, right? Right. Slim knew that his big sack would be hard to handle, so he asked Orville Slump if he'd carry it for him. Orville had a basket on the rear of his bike. He was a good sort, and he answered, okay. Some of the others noticed this and asked him if he'd carry theirs, too. Orville answered graciously, well, I guess so. And naturally, everybody else did the same until Orville's rear basket looked like a chuck wagon. At last, they were ready to go, and at a given signal, they went. Now this is Rooty Toot Jasperson. He had the newest bike in the bunch, and he was as proud of it as he could be. He made it a point to get in the lead, and there he intended to stay. It would seem that Rooty Toot was a slam-bang go-getter headed for big things in life, right? Right. But when you have to be first all the time, there are a few things you find you don't have time for. Such things as making hand signals. Oh, he knew very well that bike riders are supposed to signal just like auto drivers. Hand down for slow or stop. Hand up for right turn. Hand straight out for left turn. But pretty soon, he began to feel silly making so many signals to stay out in front. So he skipped one to rest his poor old tired arm. Just one signal, once. At this point, Rooty Toot Jasperson left the party. This charming little thing was actually christened Tinkerbell McDillingfitty. She's a sweet and lovely girl, but she has a rather poor memory. Sometimes she forgets to brush her teeth. Sometimes she leaves homework at home. And sometimes she forgets to look at traffic signals. Now she knows that she should. She knows that she should ride just like auto drivers drive. But she's so busy being happy all the time that her little thoughts tend to wander and... Oh, dear, dear, they're wandering again. Here she goes. Exit Tinkerbell McDillingfitty. She forgot now and then. Now, let me introduce Philip Flugel. He's a star athlete, the president of his class, an honor student, and he has the handsomest profile in school. Just look at it, will you? Now, Flug, as his friends call him, has one little flaw in his character. He is very easily bored. Right now, he's asking himself why everyone has to go up this side of the street. It's so samey. So, proving that even a class president can make mistakes, he decided to ride against traffic. Oh, he knows that auto drivers never do this, and that he should follow the very same traffic rules. But he's in the mood to do something different. Anyway, there are no policemen around to see him. Philip Flugel is no longer bored.
Off into space. Man, that takes real teamwork. And here's a team of junior spacemen with an out-of-this-world breakfast that teams up V8 juice and Cheerios for flavor and energy. What a treat! A flavorful glassful of refreshing V8 juice and Cheerios with power protein, plus vitamin B1 for Go Power. And now, here's a special out-of-this-world free offer. This Moon Rocket Kit, both a toy and an exciting game. First, blast off. It separates in midair and lands 2 spacemen on a moon map. You get this wonderful game only through this free offer. Send your name and address and 1 V8 label plus 1 box top from these specially marked packages of Cheerios, Kix, or Frostios to Moon Rocket Kit, Mount Vernon 10, New York. Get Campbell's V8 cocktail vegetable juice with any one of these Big G cereals.
Paperwork. Oh, those dollars go.
Worse every year.
Figuring percentages really gets me.
It's the budgets. You know, I chew up more pencils.
Markups, discounts, too much, too much.
There's gotta be an answer.
Introducing The Answer. A really small calculator, a really silent electronic, a really fast thinker, one that works anywhere on battery or plug-in, one with all the calculator know-how you'll probably ever need. Introducing the world's smallest electronic calculator from the maker of the world's most complete line, Sharp. Introducing the LC8, world's smallest electronic calculator by Sharp. Price tag to match, $345 complete. LC8, The Answer. See it.
Briefly, a few facts about fallout. To begin with, it may be surprising to know that radiation is something we live with every day. It has always been with us. Our own sun, like each of our millions of stars, is a raging nuclear furnace that shoots out showers of tiny particles, along with invisible rays that we call radiation. In an average lifetime, a person might expect to accumulate about 10 Roentgens, not enough to affect his health. We don't worry about these small amounts of natural background radiation. But to safely handle larger amounts, we must keep our distance and shield ourselves. For as the amounts increase, so do the dangers. The amount of energy generated by a nuclear explosion is enormous. Near the crater area, there is almost total destruction from blast and heat. And now large amounts of pulverized debris and molten earth are pulled up into the mushroom cloud. The radioactive atoms produced in the explosion join with the particles of Earth and debris. The mushroom-shaped cloud forms and climbs higher. It now contains billions of highly radioactive particles that we call fallout. The winds of the upper altitudes blow on the cloud, sending it in one or more directions. Some of the lighter particles may remain suspended in the atmosphere for days and travel thousands of miles before landing. But the heaviest particles drop to the ground within 24 hours. These are the most hazardous because they emit the largest amount of nuclear radiation. 100 miles from the explosion, they are about the size of table salt or fine sand. Within an hour, after a massive enemy attack, fallout would begin to be a serious problem in the vicinity of any nuclear ground burst. 7 hours later, the threatened areas cover more and more of the country as prevailing winds expand the fallout in downwind patterns. 24 hours, 48 hours, without shelter, millions would face death. Many people have difficulty understanding how silent, invisible rays, which cannot even be felt, could be so damaging. Our bodies are made up of millions of cells. They're the building blocks of our blood and tissues. When radiation penetrates the body, the cells are injured. Most of them can repair themselves if the total dose over a period of time is not too high. But if radiation continues, the cells will be destroyed beyond repair. We measure radiation in Roentgens. If people received more than 200 Roentgens within a few days, many would be sick, and some might require medical care. 300 Roentgens could cause severe radiation sickness, or possibly death. And as we go beyond 300, the danger increases rapidly. But we are not without personal weapons of defense. One is distance. The greater our distance from the fallout particles, the less radiation we receive. Radiation from particles 50 feet away, for instance, would not affect us as much as from particles a few feet away. You would receive less radiation in the middle of a tall building than on the top or bottom floors, because there would be more distance and partitions between you and the source of the radiation, the fallout particles covering the roof and the ground around the building. Only an insignificant amount would get inside. And along with distance, we have the most important defense, mass. Any material with enough weight will keep the penetrating rays from hurting us. Concrete, steel, and heavy construction materials provide good shielding from fallout radiation. And so would 2 feet of earth. And the greater the weight of the material between us and the fallout, the safer we would be. Taking a house as an example, it offers a small amount of mass and distance from radiation, but not enough protection in an area of heavy fallout. The fallout shelter is the best defense, whether in the basement of a single-family home or a large community shelter in, say, an apartment building. It offers the kind of protection from radiation you probably would need in case of nuclear attack. And along with mass and distance, we have a third invaluable ally, time. For deadly as radiation is, it has a fortunate weakness, a rapid rate of decay. Suppose a nuclear explosion takes place at 12 noon. By 1 o'clock, let's assume all the fallout is down. Then the total residual radiation would be at a high level. By 7 o'clock, it's down to 1/10. In 2 days, though still dangerous, it's only 1/100th. But in 2 weeks, it's only 1/1000th. So we would not have to take maximum precautions indefinitely. We need food and water to survive. But if fallout settles on your food, the food itself isn't harmed or made radioactive, since radiation only damages living tissue. You simply remove the fallout particles using everyday methods of food preparation, peeling, wiping, or washing. Fallout swallowed accidentally with food or in drinking water would do you no immediate harm. But for long-term safety, it's best to filter the fallout particles out. Actually, the hazard from contaminated food and water is very small compared with that from external gamma radiation. And hungry or thirsty people or animals should not be denied food and water because of possible contamination. If we remember these facts, if we act on them intelligently, we can increase our chances of surviving nuclear attack. And the key to survival is adequate shelter. That's why the federal government has a nationwide shelter program. The goal is adequate fallout shelter space for every man, woman, and child. And this goal can be reached. For with knowledge of radiation, we can face the facts about fallout and take action to protect ourselves against this hazard of the nuclear age.
Everyone knows that beautiful hair makes a girl look beautiful.
Beautiful Chrissy has beautiful hair that grows.
This is beautiful Chrissy, the doll with beautiful hair that grows right down to her toes. Woo! Turn the knob and her hair is shorter. Press her tummy and you can make her hair grow and grow and grow right down to her toes. You'll love to brush it and brush it.
She has beautiful hair. She has beautiful eyes. She has beautiful clothes.
Beautiful Chrissy comes in this beautiful dress. But you can get all these other beautiful clothes for her, too, and style her hair to go with them.
Beautiful Chrissy has beautiful hair that grows.
Beautiful Chrissy. She's ideal.
Insecure and unsafe love, not a wedding ring type love, not an everyday thing love, dangerous love, stranger still to our love, plastic gloves to touch this blood, we've got a dangerous love.
Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. Winston gives you real flavorful, rich tobacco flavor. Winston's easy drawing too. The filter lets the flavor through. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
You've probably wondered about this fellow on foot. Well, his name is Mosby Pomegranate. He is splendid in dramatics, but he works so hard memorizing his lines that he doesn't get around to a lot of other things. He never made it down to register his bike and get a license for it. He knows very well that a license makes it easy to find out who he is if he's in an accident, and makes the bike easy to trace if it's lost or stolen. That's his trouble. Last week, while he was rehearsing the lead in King Kong, someone rode off with his bike. He went to the police, but of course they couldn't help him since it had no license or registration. He stomped out of the police station angrily, and he's been stomping ever since. Farewell, Moresby Pomegranate, victim of fallen arches. If you look carefully, you'll see Trigby Phipps. He's the smaller one in Eclipse, trying to make that bike go. His passenger is an old friend of ours, Slim Jim McGuffney. Slim Jim's bike recently collapsed from the effects of his diet, and Trigby, being a nice little fellow, agreed to ride him. Now, he knows that no auto driver would drive with a passenger in his lap. He also knows that you can't see ahead very well with someone on the handlebars, and that you can't control the bike well, and that you can't make signals either. Furthermore, it is tiring. Right? Right. So long, fellas. There seems to be a flaw in the buddy system. Meet Nellie Zweiback. She's as nice as can be on foot. But when she gets on that bike, sweet Nellie becomes terribly impatient with other people's driving. Although there are only a few left now, she's having trouble sharing the street with them. So Nelbert is about to make a decision she'd never make if she weren't angry. There she goes. There she goes. She knows that riding on the sidewalk isn't allowed in her city and many others, and that even where it is, pedestrians always have the right of way. But Nelbert's upset, and she'd like to know just one good reason why she shouldn't take over the sidewalk all to herself. Nelbert Zweiback got her one good reason. Those noise transportation of Filbert Bagel. Filbert hates his old bike. He refuses to take care of it because his folks will probably give him a new one for his birthday. He can't see any reason for taking care of a heap of junk, even if he made it that way himself. He will in a moment, though. You see, he doesn't know it, but he'll find out that there's not a shred of a brake left. Now, Filbert would be the first to agree that if it's worth riding, it's worth taking care of. Right? Right. Quickly meet Stanislaw Higginbottom while you can. He's a nice boy, but he won't be with us long. You are now looking straight at Stanislaw Higginbottom. He has neither lights nor reflectors. Stanislaw just wasn't quite bright enough. All of which leaves Orville. He'll get fat, all right. And here's why he ended up with all these groceries that he doesn't really want. So that's why Orville Slump is picnicking alone today. He watched the signals, he obeyed traffic signs, he made hand signals, he rode alone, he stayed on the right side of the street, got a license, rode just like auto drivers drive, and kept the brakes and all in good condition. And he got fat. Of course, it was very lonely, but not as lonely as this. But then, as anyone can plainly see, he wasn't a monkey, right? Now, that sounds as if you really mean it, right?
But in the laboratories of Your Name Here, there is a modest sign